Are we ready? All right. So today's topic is going to be on managing critical path. This is an extension of the topic on project scheduling, right? Project scheduling. So, well, that's a big topic. I'm just going to focus on critical path only. The reason is that topic itself, there's a lot of formulas involved. So yeah, I don't want to mix up with the main topic of scheduling. There is already a video in my YouTube on scheduling, but I'm thinking of doing a new one. That was quite some time ago. My video recording was not so good. So I will try to make a new one for the entire scheduling, how to create a Gantt chart and all. But I'm not going to talk about Gantt chart, right? So when it comes to CAPM or PMP, the one that they are going to focus on is network diagram. Remember, network diagram is project manager's best friend. If you want to cheat your boss, yeah, show them the Gantt chart, right? So Gantt chart is used for just a visual representation, but the science of scheduling is all in the network diagram. All right. So shall I zoom in? Shall I just zoom in into the critical part, right? So the scheduling you can learn anytime. Yeah, as I said, maybe another video that will be about 1 hour video. But this one I'll just focus, just zooming in into critical part so that you can answer the exam questions on the critical part. All right. So let me share the slides. Yeah, let me share the slides. Okay, we are here. All right, we are here. Hope you can see the slides. All right, so managing critical path. Yeah, let me give you some introduction first before going there. In fact, what I'm thinking of showing you is I want to show you the Microsoft project version, yeah, of how to create a Gantt chart first, very quickly, yeah, very quickly, because I wanted to get a grasp or idea of how a Gantt chart is created. I'm used to it. I've been doing this for many, many years. So I might be doing things fast, right? As a project planner, yeah, scheduling is our bread and butter, right? As a project planner. So I'll do it very fast, but observe the steps that I'm doing, yeah, in Microsoft project. And then after that, I'm going to come back to this slide, and then I'm going to tell you step by step on calculating critical path. Will that be okay? All right. So let me just pause this recording so that I can switch to Microsoft project now. All right, we are here. We are here in Microsoft project. I'm just going to give you a high level, some simple basic scheduling techniques, right? So usually what we do is, earlier I mentioned about creating a work breakdown structure, yeah, and you'll have a work breakdown structure level 1, which is a project level, and then WBS level 2, which is basically your deliverable or the phase of the project. And then WBS level 3 will be your activity, right? And if it's a lot, if the project is large, then we might have level 4, level 5, all right? All depends on the duration itself. If it's more than 10 days, it is recommended for you to break it down into a smaller one, to level 4. Yeah, we call it 880 rule, right? 880. 80 is considered 10 days. So 8 is considered 1 day. So if it's between this range, stop there at that level. Otherwise, you break it down further. Yeah, that's a rule for WBS. Now, I have a list of activities here, assuming, right, that I got it from my WBS, is to celebrate your daughter or your son's birthday, right, 21st birthday. So that will be our WBS level 1. Yeah, WBS level 1. So let me add one column here called WBS so that you can easily remember the numbering structure here. So you have level 1, 2, 3, all the way to level 20, which is wrong, right? Level is a wrong WBS numbering system. So now what I want to tell the Microsoft project is, guys, actually number 2 until number 20 is actually under 21st birthday. Yeah, it's a grouping. So all of this is part of a 21st birthday project. All right. So what I'll do is there's one button here called indent, right? So I will indent them inside here. So you notice all of them becomes under 21st birthday. So you notice the numbering also changed. It becomes 1, and then the next one is 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and so on, right? So that's the first thing I'm doing. Now, then I have level 2. Level 2, let's say, is this one. Decide on key detail is level 2. Under this level 2, there are a few activities that I need to perform. So let's say I have about these activities. Decide on venue and date, create guest list, create invitation and FB event, send out the invitation so that, yeah, your friends can receive the birthday party invitations. All right, so let's say all of this is under decide on key detail. What do you think I should do? Yes, I indent them, right? So now you have under 21st birthday, you have decide on key detail, and then you have 4 activities here. All right, so 1.1.1, 1.1.2, right? So likewise, I want to do another grouping. For entertainment, I want to do a research. I want to get a price quotation. I want to choose which entertainer is the best, among their background, once you have done your background check and their quotation, their pricing, quality, everything. And then I want to book them and then ask them to come up with a timeline. So all of these activities is under organized entertainment. What shall I do? Indent, right? So indent. So I put an indent here. So under organized entertainment, you got WBS level 3 here, 3 levels here. And these are the activities. So likewise, I'm going to do this for catering. Under catering, I'm going to choose the food menu. I'm going to create a shopping list for the foods and drinks. So this for birthday that we are going to do it at our home, right? Research and decide on the cake that you are going to buy, and then visit the cake store and for sampling, buy the cake 1 day before. And then maybe at home, you arrange the food corner. And then after the birthday, we clean up. So all of this, I group them under catering. How do you group them? You indent. Okay, team? Now, nice. Simple. All right. Now, the next one that we do is usually we enter the duration. There is actually a steps which I'll teach in the scheduling tutorial. So this one, I'm going to go a bit more fast because I just want to focus on the critical part, right? So I'm just going to just enter randomly on the duration. So let's say decide on the venue and date takes about 4 days. So I type that 4D, you see the Gantt chart is being formed. And then create a guest list. Let's say this will take about 1 week, so the 1W. And then create the invitation and FB event, yeah, or create the invitation card itself. This might take, let's say it's about 2 weeks. Sending out the invitation and invite the friends might take about 10 days, which is 2 weeks, all right? So you notice on the right-hand side, you can see the Gantt charts there, right? So yeah, but it's all starting on the same day. It doesn't matter for now. We have just started. All right, then organize the entertainment research. Let's say it takes about 3 days, and inquire price, get a price quotation takes about 1 week. Decide and select the entertainment. Let's say this takes about 4 days. Book and confirm the company. Let's say this takes about, after evaluation, takes about 1 week. Develop the timeline, let them do it. So let's say it's about 1 week. All right, I'm just randomly throwing this duration for me at the moment is not important. I'm going to focus on creating a network diagram. And then catering, decide on the food menu. Let's say this took about 2 days. Creating a shopping list takes 2 days. Research and decide on the cake takes 2 days. Visit the cake 1 day. Buy the cake 1 day before. Let's say that's 1 day. Arrange the food corner takes about 2 days. Clean up after the event. Let's say it takes about 2 days. Duration done. All right, team. Slowly, I'm entering into critical part. Yeah, ready? Yeah. Okay. Now, notice the dates. Start date is there. Finish date is there. Finish date is determined by entering the duration. That's one of the method. So you notice all the start dates are all the same. Yeah. And the finish date is determined by entering the duration. That's one of the method. Never, ever, ever, when you do scheduling, do not ever touch the start and finish. Let it be automatic unless you are an expert in the industry where you want to do it manually. Yeah. But if you're an entry level or you're just learning this software, make it automatic. All right. The mode, make it automatic so that it will automatically adjust the start and finish date. All right. Now, I want to talk about this predecessor theme. This is the one I'm going to focus now. Yeah, for today. So let's say the predecessor. Predecessor means what is the activity before the current activity. The current activity is number 3. What is the activity before this? That's called predecessor. Successor means what is the activity after the current activity here. Number 3, what is the next activity after deciding on venue and date? Of course, it's create guest list. What is create guest list? Predecessor is decide on venue and date. That's a predecessor. One activity before this, that's called predecessor. All right, so since number 3 is the first activity, there is no predecessor, right? So we'll leave it blank. Now, create guest list in number 4. What is the predecessor? The predecessor is decide on venue and date. Basically, after I decide on venue and date, then I will create a guest list. After I create a guest list, then I create an invitation. After I create an invitation, then I send out the invitation cards. Let's say that's the flow. All right. So how you enter the predecessor is like this. Look at number 3 here. And we mentioned this is the first activity. So there is no predecessor. Leave it blank. Next one, create guest list. We mentioned create guest list. The predecessor is decide on venue and date. Decide on venue and date is in line number 3. All right. So when I type here number 3, notice the Gantt chart. You'll start forming. All right, the Gantt chart will start forming. Let's try again. Create the invitation and FB event, which is in line number 5. The predecessor, let's say, is number 4, is create guest list. Create guest list is in number 4. So in the predecessor, I type that number 4. Notice the Gantt chart is being created for you. All right. So likewise, I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. Send out the invitation and invite FB friends is going to be after I do number 5. So I type here 5. Slowly, Gantt chart is being formed. All right. Now, team, let's say number 8. Let's forget about organized entertainment. That's a grouping, right? We don't enter any numbers in the predecessor column for grouping. I don't recommend for you to enter, even though you may enter, but I don't recommend for proper planning for you to enter in the grouping. So always enter data only in the activity level. All right. So research entertainment for 21st birthday, let's say it's the predecessor is line number 6. So I type here line number 6. All right, Gantt chart continues. Yeah, here. All right, inquire and get the pricing. That will be after I complete number 8. So I type here number 8. There's a gap, yeah. Number 7 is not there. But just remember the logical sequence of this. Number 10, the predecessor is, let's say, is number 9. So I'm going to go fast in the interest of time. 9, 10, and I'll show you the Gantt chart is slowly forming here. 9, 10, 11, and this will be 12. This will be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, so that's the predecessor. You notice one after another. All right, the Gantt chart is there. Done. Gantt chart is done. All right, so not that simple. There's no logical sequence to it. I'm just randomly putting it here so that it looks, the Gantt chart looks one after another, right? Okay, now who is going to do this? I need to enter the resource name here. So let's say, for argument's sake, yeah, let's say it's going to be me. All right, so I put my name here, Nehru. And then, yeah, the next one is Nehru, next one is Nehru, because it's all is in sequence, right? So next one is Nehru, next one is Nehru, Nehru, Nehru. Oh my gosh. Pity this guy. He's going to die standing, doing all the entire project himself. But doesn't matter. Look at the Gantt chart. It shows the name after the Gantt chart, right? Nice. At least you'll know who's responsible for each one of these activity. Yeah? All right. Now, team, that's done. Okay, let's play with the logical sequence here. Is it logical for the entire project to be done by Nehru? Doesn't make sense, right? I mean, if you have a project of 1 year, can you put your name for the entire project? I mean, what's the purpose of we calling it a project? A project must have a team, minimum 2%, even though I never encourage 2% to do a project. All right, you will have a team, 4%, 8%, 12%. Yeah. or sometimes huge projects, it might even touch 2,000, 10,000 resources. It depends on the project. All right, so now what I want to show you, I don't want to talk about the huge projects, 2,000 resources here. Let's keep it simple for your exam. All right, now Nehru is working on this. I would like to have this organized entertainment done by somebody else. Whose name shall I put in? All right, so let's say I put in, oh my gosh, I forgot everyone's name, the participant's name. So let's say I call that person, Rajesh. Okay. Rajesh, you are in charge of entertainment, so I put it here. Right? So Rajesh is doing this. Catering, who is going to do it? Who is really good, politely saying, good in eating? Right? So let's say, Benedict, right? So I just call Ben. Ben is my true friend as well. So I will put Ben's name here. All right. Makes sense, right? One person, you focus on the key detail, you do the planning. Another person, organize the entertainment. Rajesh, you focus on entertainment. Ben, you focus on catering. And decoration, another person. Yeah, so something like that. Logical. It's pretty logical, right? For you to have multiple resources. Okay, team. Now I want to ask you this. I'm now entering into the logics of critical path, right? If you notice, team, what you're seeing now, the entire thing is a critical path. The entire project is critical at the moment. All right. So why is it critical? Because the flow of the Gantt chart, you just look at it, it's just one after another, one after another, one after another until the last one. There's no dependency. But does it make sense? Here's my question, yeah? All right, look at the duration, yeah? It's now 63 days, yeah, for the entire project because it's one after another, one after another. And it just goes on until the last activity. My question is, why must Rajesh wait until Nehru finishes his work and then Rajesh is starting his activity called organized entertainment? Why is he waiting for Nehru? Doesn't make sense. Why can't they do the activity in parallel? When Nehru starts his work on deciding on the venue and date, Rajesh could actually start his work, right? And likewise, look at this catering. Rajesh is working on this. Ben is only starting the activity after Rajesh completes the activity here. Why must Ben wait for Rajesh? There's no dependency. Ben, you can start going and getting your quotation and all of this stuff. All right, you can start here. There's no dependency here. You can start where? You can start here at the early stage. All right. So, team, now what can I type here in this case? The predecessor is not 6. 6 means it's here. After 6, then you start this, right? So, I want to mention that by the time Nehru start the project, yeah, Rajesh, you also can start this activity, Can I say 3? But notice when I type 3, it's after number 3 finishes, then this activity will start. All right, ready with a piece of paper and yeah, your pencil or whatever. I'm going to tell you 6 different formulas that you need to remember so that I can go to the critical part, right? So now the first formula is, it's called FS relationship, right? FS stands for finish to start relationship. When number 3 finishes, then this activity will start. Does it make sense? When number 3 finishes, then the current line will start. All right, that's called FS relationship. By default, all of them are FS. Notice this, after this finishes, then this will start. After this finishes, this will start. All right, so that is FS relationship, yeah? The second predecessor formula that I want to teach you, or the relationship that I want to teach you, is called start relationship, SS. So what I'm going to say here is when number 3 starts, when Nehru starts his work, Rajesh starts on the same day. When number 3 starts, the current line will start at the same time. Notice? All right, two of them start at the same time. Shall we try again? Let's try. Catering, Ben, please don't do it after Rajesh. Oh, let's try again. Let's try doing it in parallel. So when Nehru starts on this first activity, number 3, Ben, when Nehru starts on number 3, when 3 starts, you start your current activity. That's called start relationship. Notice the Gantt. All right. So yeah, it starts in parallel. Now I got 3 guys, Nehru, Rajesh, Ben, running in parallel. These 3 guys will now decide the future of this project. They will decide among 3 of them who is going to finish first and finish last in the project. Did you notice it was 63 days duration now? Now it's 29 because it's running parallel. All right, you have shortened your overall project date, right? Project deadline. Not really, almost there. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of work to be done here now. Now, notice, team, if I browse the cursor on your Gantt chart, all right, it's moving. Ben finished first, Ben finished first. Ben, you can take leave. You can go for your holidays. You can go for your vacation. You can go for your PMP training. Go for your CAPM training because there's nothing else for you to do here. But there's something else you can do as well. I'll tell you shortly, right? Next one. Now, Nehru and Rajesh is working and working and working and working and working. Look at this. Rajesh finished. Rajesh finished his activity. But Nehru is continuing working and working. Right? Nehru's activity, among the 3 parts, yeah, Nehru's activity is the longest part. All right? So therefore, Nehru is working on a very critical part. I'll tell you what's the reason. This is called critical part. The longest duration to finish your project, but it's also the shortest duration for you to complete the project. This is the shortest, right? So yeah, if you ask your boss, when is your project is going to finish, tell them the fastest I can finish is by April 16. Now you notice the duration is 29, yeah? So Nehru is managing the critical part. Team, what happened to Rajesh? Now, let's say I increase this, yeah? Rajesh, instead of working on 2 weeks, yeah? Notice, yeah? I typed there, just now was 1 week, right? I typed here 2 weeks. Let's see whether the deadline changes. When I press enter, it doesn't change, right? Because it's within the critical part. Because he has buffer, quite a lot of buffer. All right. So likewise, Ben, let's talk about Ben here. Ben, you are working for 2 days. I make it 2 weeks. All right, 2 weeks. So does this deadline change when I press enter? No, the deadline remains. Now let's try with Nehru, right? So Nehru is working on this, right? So Nehru is working on this. What happens if I type here 3W? Notice his deadline, it was 16 April, right? So when I press enter, it affects the deadline. It affects the deadline. It now changed to 23. Whatever Nehru is doing is pretty crucial, pretty critical for the deadline of this project. All right, so therefore, we call this critical part. Among the 3 parts, the critical part is handled by Nehru. I mean, that's a dummy version of explaining critical part. All right, but you got an idea, right? You got an idea that among the 3 parts, Nehru's part will decide the deadline. He got no buffer. Nehru cannot afford to go on leave. Yeah, can't afford to fall sick. All right. Now, there are a few things that Nehru or Rajesh and Ben can do, right? If you look at it logically, yeah, from this Gantt chart, notice something. Rajesh can actually take leave, right? Ben can go on leave, right? Medical leave or not medical leave. He can go on vacations or whatever, right? Because they are buffer. You see, there's a lot of buffer for Ben. Buffer, yeah, we call it float in our language. All right, later I'll explain to you about the float. So there's a lot of float area here. There's a buffer here. What can Rajesh do? As I said, he can go on leave. There's another thing Rajesh and Ben can do. Go and sharpen your saw. Go for training. All right. All your equipments, your machinery or whatever you're not using at this moment. Yeah. Send them for service. Yeah. Or as a project manager, I notice Rajesh is free, right? Ben is free, right? I can ask Ben or Rajesh to go and help Nehru. When you help Nehru, what do you think will happen logically? Project deadlines get shorter. Because you're assisting Nehru. All right, so that's the logic behind this. Got it? All right, now team, this is the first part of the video on the thing, yeah? And now I only taught you two formulas. Now let me explain to you the other formulas. The other formula, the other four formula is this. Now I've covered FS relationship. The other one is SS relationship. The third one I would like to show you finish to finish relationship. All right, which one shall I use as an example? All right, which one shall I use as an example? Let's say this is 3 days, right? Example, yeah. You notice Rajesh is 3 days here. And yeah, I would like to show these two activities by Rajesh. Assuming the activity is, Rajesh have to prepare a proposal for me and then also supplement by a PowerPoint presentation, a proposal, a document, and PowerPoint. And then these two documents must finish at the same time. Then you submit to me. These two documents must be completed. Then you show it to me. You're not going to show your boss proposal and then you tell your boss, later I'll give you the PowerPoint slide. No, these two, we make sure you finish it together and then send it to the boss. All right, this is called finish to finish relationship. Once, let's say number nine is preparing your proposal, right? Number 10 is actually your PowerPoint slides. So these two must finish at the same time. So what I do here is I type there, when 9 finish, the current line must finish at the same time. All right, notice the Gantt chart. Both of them are finishing at the same time. Finish relationship. All right, so this is the third formula that you can use in predecessor. The fourth one, I can't mix it here. It won't make sense. But if you are using it, let me tell you a scenario when you will be using it. When you are planning backwards. When a deadline is fixed and then you are planning backwards. Did you notice so far we are doing forward planning? All right, so we decide one activity and then next activity and then the next activity, it goes forward. But there will be one or two projects where deadlines are fixed. And then from that date, we plan backwards. I'll give you an example. Let's say there is a let's put it as Labor Day festival or whatever, Labor Day concert or whatever, right? That's on May 1st. So Labor Day, or we don't call it Labor Day, right? Depends on which part of the country you are. Some of them we call it Workers' Day. Yeah, so let's say this is May 1st. It's here. It's here. There you go. You saw the Gantt chart, right? Notice that May 1st. We are going to have a concert. Workers' Day concert. This is a separate example. I don't want to mix with the one on top there. It'll confuse you, right? So Workers' Day's concert. Let's say it's a one-day event. Guys, before the Workers' Day concert, what must you do? One day before, let's do some rehearsal. Did I say one day before? One day before. Now we are going backwards. All right. So how many days rehearsal? Let's say we are going to take about 4 days rehearsal. Yeah, 4 days rehearsal. What do you think I should enter in the predecessor? By the time 22 start, by the time 22 starts, this current activity called rehearsal must finish. This is called start-finish relationship. Got it? By the time 22 starts, rehearsal should have been completed. When I press enter, notice it'll go backwards. All right, let's try again, yeah? What happens before rehearsal? So let's say before rehearsal, we are going to set up the equipments and yeah, all of those things. How many days you require? Let's say it takes about 1 week to set up all the equipments. What do you think is the predecessor here? All right, by the time 23 start, make sure the equipments are completed. All right, did you notice how it works? Now the predecessors are coming backwards. My recommendation, use either the one on top, forward planning, and a few other combinations, or backward planning. Do not mix these two. You will mess up your planning, you will mess up your head, your brain. All right. And don't mix the SF and FS together. Yeah, it's a two different animal. All right. So that's the SF theme. Yeah. So far I've taught you 4 formulas. The 5th formula, we call it leading and lagging. Right? Leading and lagging. Let me show you how it works. So I'm going to forget about that backward planning. Yeah. Now let's come back to this. Now, leading, all right. So Nehru is actually working on this activity number 3. All right. So start from here and here. And notice this is a finish to start relationship, right? After Nehru finish this, then he will start. But this is a Thursday. Nehru says, boss, I would like to take leave on Thursday and Friday. An example, right? An example. He takes leave on Thursday and Friday for whatever the reason, family matters, or he's going on vacation, whatever the reason is. Right? So now I can't ask Nehru to work on Thursday. I got to delay this activity. Did I use the word delay? Yeah. Delay the activity or postpone the activity. So let's say he comes back on Monday. So how many days are we going to postpone? It's going to be Thursday, Friday. 2 days I'm going to postpone. Don't include the Saturday, Sunday because it's a weekend. It's a non-working day. All right. So what I have to type here is, it still is an FS, right? So the relationship is guest list must still be completed after I decide on menu and date. But it's just that I won't do it immediately. I will do it 2 days later. All right. I add 2 days, or you can put there 2 weeks or whatever parameters you want. But when I press enter, notice, right? So there will be a gap here. That's a delay. Yeah. So you are adding a delay. Now, team, be very careful when you're using this because if Nehru is in critical path and you put plus 2 days, it'll affect the critical path, right? Right? The deadline will change. The other two guys, yeah, who cares? Right? They can afford to delay their activities. Yeah. So remember this, whenever you want to postpone a task, use plus. What is the opposite of postpone? That's called leading. So when you put a plus sign, it's called lagging or postpone a task. When you type minus sign, that means is leading. All right. Leading. Let's take a look at which activity. Nice. All right. So Rajesh is here. All right. Activity number 11 and 12, right? Activity number 11 and 12. So this is finished to start relationship. And I'm telling Rajesh, my gosh, I need a help from you. Can you please speed up your work? Can you please work overtime for me? And yeah, can you please work extra so that you can finish this task a bit more earlier? All right. So what do you think I should type here? So it still is an FS relationship, but I'm telling Rajesh to speed up, not delay or lagging. Yeah. So I put there minus. Minus what? So let's say minus, I want him to start on Friday. So therefore, Tuesday, Monday, Friday. So 3 days, I want to bring it forward. So I put there 3 days. All right. When I type 3 days, notice he'll start on Friday. Parallel activity. Team. If I have done this in the critical part, what do you think would have happened? Your schedule get compressed. Yeah, you can finish it faster than May 1st. Shall we try, just in case? Just to show you evidence. All right, notice this Nehru here. Yeah, the deadline is May 1st, yeah? And Nehru is in critical path, right? So let's say I make this activity, I want him to start on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. That means basically I want to reverse by 2 days. So what I do here, I'm sure you know the answer by now, is Fs minus, yeah, minus, leading, yeah? By how many days? 2 days. Now when you press enter, notice, all right, it starts on Thursday. Now you notice why the deadline is on May 1st still. Somebody else is owning the critical path now. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's because of the workers' day. Let me remove this. This messed up my plan. All right, this messed up my plan. So I delete this task. Okay, let's go back here. So now it's finishing on 16th of April. What was the number earlier? Yeah. So the number earlier was this was 5, right? So the number earlier was April 18. So when I put that minus symbol there, sorry, yeah. All right, when I mention 5 FS minus 2 days, it will now finish on 16th of April. Right? So if when you're in the critical path, the minus sign compresses your schedule. 6 formulas I've taught you in this Microsoft project itself. Team, I want you to be aware of this. Yeah, be aware of this formula because now the next part of the video number 2, I'm going to talk about the theory behind this. And then I'll give you some sample CAPM exam questions as well. Let me stop the sharing here. All right. I didn't know that it'll take half an hour for me to record this. All right. But the next slide, next topic, I will cover from the theory, yeah, not the practical one, not the Microsoft project, but theory using PowerPoint. And I'll teach you some of the formulas. It's a repeat of whatever I've just shown you in the practical side. But at the same time, I'll give you some practical questions that you can use for your exam as well. All right. Take care, team. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.